Hello again, friends. Lounge Lizard here with my ranking of all Sky Clubs in Atlanta. Before we get started, please help my growing channel out by subscribing and hitting that like button. 20% of all Sky Clubs in the world are in Atlanta. There are 9 in the airport alone, in one of the top busiest airports in the world. A few here are unique and stand out, and the rest are kind of run of the mill. So what we're going to do is rank the top 5 Sky Clubs in Atlanta. And I needed some help with this ranking and invited my friend Tony to help us. He was on the trip with me, and he flies through Atlanta almost monthly. So, Tony, welcome to the Lounge Lizard. Thanks for joining. All right, Tony, let's get into our top 5 ratings, starting with number 5, the Sky Club in Terminal T. So what was your impression of this club? This was actually one of the last ones that we visited, and this is the one that is the closest to domestic security checkpoints as well. So it's like as soon as you walk in to Atlanta, this is the closest Sky Club.
Yeah, you know, Mike, I thought as far as design goes, this one had a really unique feel to it. You know, a lot of the colors used in the Sky Clubs were pretty consistent throughout. You know, this one felt a little bit more fresh, you know, and just kind of like a unique feel to it, like unique lighting around the bar. You know, I definitely enjoyed it. It was later in the day on our journey. You know, I think if we hit it first, I probably would have enjoyed it a little bit more. But it's definitely pretty unique.
Yeah, and I like the pod of all the big screen TVs, and I also like that this was the club where they were testing different Sky Club food options. I guess that makes sense. If somebody's driving in from headquarters, they want the closest Sky Club possible to just pop in, check it out.
Absolutely. You know, in the TVs, it really gave me kind of like a sports bar vibe.
Yep.
Okay. You know, it was that's what I was thinking of. Is it's just the lighting's different, everything else. Wouldn't be my first choice if I had to get work done, but you know, if I was there to truly kick back and relax, then that would be definitely a top choice.
If it felt like a sports bar for number 5, number 4, the Sky Club Terminal C, that felt like a ski lodge.
It did. Different woods used on the walls, just a totally different vibe and layout compared to some of the other non B18 lounges.
It wasn't that big. It had that nice curved roof.
That also had like a lot of side rooms to it, right? Like where everything was kind of connected, but there's like these long, narrow hallways.
Yes.
So definitely more of like a workspace club. It was really loud in there though. They had the announcement volume up like through the roof.
I remember that. It made me jump a couple times when they were announcing departures.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, okay, can we just kick the volume down just a couple of notches here? So, you know, definitely another unique layout. Aside from the overhead announcements, it was pretty quiet in there.
The bar is really close to the door. Bathrooms are close to the door. So it's a really good space too. If you need to get in, get out, that's the club you go to. Which brings us to number 3. This is the Sky Club Terminal E. Now, when we were there, you could get the vibe that this Terminal E, before they built F, was the original. This is the original flagship lounge. It was where all the international flights fly in, because E feels so much bigger and more grand than any of the other terminals in Atlanta. Well, except for F, of course.
I mean, as soon as you walk in, it's kind of like, okay, if you're an inbound or outbound Delta passenger, this is what Delta wants to be the first impression for you from an international standpoint. You know, the layout, you know, another unique layout too. And that's one thing I really liked about these Sky Clubs is almost everyone had a totally different feel, but the food, the drink offerings, the staff, that was all consistent across all of them. But this was a really cool club. You know, this is definitely worth visiting if you're in, you know, if you're near E gates, even if you're near D gates, you know, definitely worth kind of popping over and seeing what it's all about. I would definitely visit again.
The space was enormous. They had that little place where you could close the doors, I guess, if you needed some privacy or had like a big group traveling. This is also the only club we went to that had a taco bar. So for whatever reason, E kind of does everything's pretty consistent, plus the taco bar. I thought that was something that was a standout here. And then tons of places to either get work done or just really get lost in this space. There's so much in here.
We didn't really expect that though either when we walked in. I was kind of expecting just, you know, something similar to like the A or the C. clubs, and this one was really pretty spectacular. To the point where like when I land, I'm like, maybe I'll land in E, just because it's kind of out of the way, you know what I mean? And I remember walking through that terminal and being like, wow, there's not a lot going on over here today.
It was quiet.
But
and, what we recommend for people is if your connection is under an hour and you can get into a Sky Club, just go to whatever is closest to your departure gate. So number 2, the Sky Club in Terminal F. So Terminal F is the international terminal now, the newest terminal in Atlanta. And we went to F Club, and this one really stood out to me. So what did you like about it, Tony?
First and foremost, the patio, right? Atlanta's in the South. It's warm there it's warm enough there more than it's not. Coming from Ohio and Chicago, that was like our first taste of sunshine in quite some time.
Yep.
You and I go back and forth. This was my personal favorite. Okay. To be able to grab a bite to eat and a drink and sit outside anytime. And granted, look, maybe if we visited in July, it wouldn't be my favorite, right?
Yeah.
But to be able to go outside and kind of watch planes taxiing between E and F and, get some fresh air. Fresh air is not something that comes, that's readily available once you're through security, right?
So bottom line, the patio is really what makes Terminal F stick out. There's showers there. It's multiple floors. So even if you're on the inside, big, bright space, tons of glass, and definitely worth a stop if you're all the way down here. And it was tough because this is score-wise tied with our number 1. I think where this one sticks out is the patio, but where number 1 sticks out, it is just a grand space. So number 1 is the current Delta Sky Club flagship for the entire brand, which is the Terminal B by Gate B18 club. So what was your takeaway from this visit, Tony?
What a staff. The amount of people working to maintain, to bus tables, clean the space. It was incredible. Okay. And to kind of get that first impression of like the details, all right, you cannot sit somewhere without power in there, and not just like a crummy outlet, right? Like a USB port underneath a lounge chair.
We actually took 15 minutes to look. We're like, there has to be at least one seat here without power. And I think we found 4 seats that didn't have power.
Yeah. Delta's like, you are not allowed to have your phone on. Okay. Like if your phone dies in Atlanta airport and you have Sky Club access, you did something really wrong. Okay. Look, man, the natural light, the food and beverage offering, the efficiency of the bar handling that many people, it was just incredible.
And that's what it looks like they thought of is this is going to be our busiest club. What are all the things we need to do that we've learned from other Sky Clubs that need to be different here? So it's things where the buffet can get filled from the back so it doesn't hold up the entire buffet lines with somebody having to cut through and drop more food. It's having a secondary snack station. It's having Coke machines in multiple places. It's a very wide bar. And then the wine tasting machine wasn't working. I don't think they've rebooted them yet. But I am really looking forward to trying those out because I've only seen a wine tasting machine there and in the Centurion Lounge in San Francisco. So very nice touch there. The artwork, all Atlanta based, Atlanta themed. So it was a really cool space.
Yeah, that one.
So it was a great visit and we had a great day. And let us know what you think in the comments. Have you been through Atlanta? Have you visited these Sky Clubs? Do you agree with our top 5 ratings? Is there something we missed? Is there something you would add? Let us know. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And Tony, thank you so much for joining the Lounge Lizard.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye, everybody.